This is a story that's breaking at this hour. Accused number 8, Dileep, not found guilty in the actress assault case. Big story at this point in time with the court acquitting actor Dileep of all the charges of rape charges. Not found guilty by the Kerala court. It's been an 8-year-long legal battle. The court is now pronouncing its verdict. The court says Dileep is not guilty, acquitting the actor of all rape charges. Shibi has got more details. Shibi, take us to the developments in court.
Sneha, just now, Justice Anil Varghese has announced the verdict. 8 accused in the case. After Dileep is not being found guilty in the case, the judge says that the prosecution could not prove that he was behind the conspiracy that took place in the actress assault case. They were not able to submit adequate evidence to prove his involvement in the case, is what the justice said while pronouncing the verdict. The 1 to 6 accused, the first to 6 accused who were directly involved in the crime have been found guilty, is what we are understanding at this moment, because the verdict is ongoing as of now. But most important breaking is that the 8th accused in the case, actor Dileep, has been acquitted by the court, the district sessions court. In the 8-long-year case, the 8-long trial, there were multiple setbacks for the prosecution also, with many of the eyewitnesses turning hostile before the court. So the prosecution, though, tried to argue that this is a very rare case where a conspiracy was hatched to conduct a rape and record the video of it. So, but all of that did not stand before the court, is what we're understanding as the verdict. As during the verdict, the judge says that the prosecution could not submit adequate evidence to prove its role in the case. So that's what it stands. This might go to the higher courts. The survivor is likely to appeal before the higher court against the verdict of the principal sessions court.
Big story at this hour. Shibi, getting in those details. Dileep was an accused of abduction and now has been acquitted, is what we know. Shibi, what about the other accused in this case? Tell us more.
The first 1 to 6, there are 10 accused in the case. The first to 6 accused, first is the one who conducted this heinous crime of rape in a moving car in Kochi back in February 2017. That's Sunil Kumar. Him and the second accused, Martin Anthony, who was the driver of the car in which the actress was traveling. So 1, 2, and the other helpers who were in that, who were with them, all 6 of them have been found guilty. But accused number 7, accused number 8, both of them have not been found guilty. They have been acquitted by the court. Like I pointed out, this is likely to move to the higher courts because, like I said, in the last 8 years, there were multiple allegations. The 2 prosecutors have already quit the case, saying that they were not satisfied with the way the case was functioning. The trial was ongoing with the involvement of the judge also. So many allegations raised against the judge also in the last 8 years when this trial was ongoing. 2 prosecutors had to quit the case, saying that this case is going in favor of the accused. So all of those will be considered, and that the case is likely to move to the higher courts, is what we're understanding. Like I pointed out, there were around 5 witnesses who turned hostile during the hearing of the case. There was a memory card that went missing from the court premises that had this video recording of the assault that took place. So all of these were issues that the survivor had already raised before the High Court. So it's still pending before the High Court. Those arguments, the case is still pending before the High Court. But whatever it is, as of now, major relief for actor Dileep, one of the biggest stars of the Malayalam film industry. He did spend around 85 days in jail after he was arrested by the SIT, saying that he is the mastermind behind this conspiracy. The SIT's finding was that the survivor in the case, a very prominent actress in the Malayalam film industry, exposed his alleged extramarital affair before his then wife. And that was the reason why he took revenge on her. It was the version of the SIT. That was the version that they presented before the court. That was the version that was running throughout the trial. And they had many eyewitnesses. They had many witness statements to support that argument. But throughout the trial, many of them, around 5 of them, like I mentioned, turned hostile from the Malayalam film industry itself. But having said all that, none of these evidences stood before the court, is what the judges now pronounced, leaving the 7th and the 8th accused, actor Dileep, acquitted in this case.
Big story at this hour, Mollywood gang rape case. In fact, the actor has now been acquitted. The prosecution could not in fact garner enough evidence in that sense to prove the actor's guilt in this case. I'm going to go back to Shibi for our viewers. Take us to the specific charges that he was facing. Of course, this was a long trial with not one but several delays, isn't it, Shibi?
Well, exactly. He was charged under the conspiracy charges. Main charge was the conspiracy charge and also the abduction charge, because she was abducted in her own car. Like what happened on February 17, 2017 was the actress here. She's a very prominent face, not just in Malayalam film industry, but also across South Indian films. She was traveling from residence in Thrissur to Kochi for the post-production work of a movie, and that's when on the way, a traveler containing these accused 1 to 6, where in that traveler they chased her car, and when it reached Cochin, they blocked the car and they got inside, pushed themselves inside the car and conducted this heinous crime of rape. And not just that, they drove her around the city for around 2 hours and also recorded this heinous crime. What was the turning point in the case was that the actress, the first accused, Sunil Kumar, who conducted this crime, while doing this act, he confessed to the survivor in the case that this is not him doing, but he has been, entrusted to conduct this. That's the reason why he's, doing this heinous crime. That was one statement that this accused one told the survivor while this whole thing was happening, and that was a statement that the survivor, that was a statement given by the survivor before the investigation team also. Initially, it looked like the prosecution, the investigating team had a lot of evidence with them, but with each day, each year passing by, most of the victims, most of the eyewitnesses turned hostile. Most of them had given statement to the SIT saying that this actor Dileep had vengeance against this actress as she exposed his extramarital affair before his then wife. So statement supporting that was there with the SIT initially, but with time they all turned hostile. And also the SIT yesterday, after once the hearing was over, the SIT was still hopeful, saying that they were able to submit other evidences. Though many of them turned hostile, they were able to submit a lot of evidences supporting their argument that he was involved in the alleged conspiracy. He was the mastermind behind this conspiracy, because there was no other way this could have happened. And also there was Dileep's involvement also came out because after the first accused in the case who committed this crime, he had sent few letters from the jail to Dileep and his associates, and that was the turning point which showed that he was, raised questions regarding his alleged involvement in the case. But having said that, again, the prosecution could not prove his involvement with adequate evidence, and the survivor, in all possibility, will be approaching the higher courts in this case.
Options in that sense is open before the survivor in this case, but the big story at this hour indicating that actor Dileep has not been found guilty by the Ernakulam court. Here's what Shibi is telling us, with the prosecution failing to prove the actor's guilt in this case. To tell our viewers a little about this case, which in fact was from the year 2017. This matter is from the year 2017. It's been an 8-year-long legal battle. The Kerala court pronouncing the verdict, saying that the main accused actor, the prime accused here, among the prime accused rather, is not guilty. The case stems from the abduction and alleged sexual assault of a leading Malayalam female actor who was molested inside a car for 2 hours, and this happened in February 2017. There were 10 accused who were facing trial, and essentially the main accused here, actor Dileep, has been found not guilty. Of course, Dileep also was facing an additional charge of destroying evidence, is what we know. The charge sheet was first filed in 2017 itself, and Dileep was arrested. He was though granted bail in the same year. The supplementary charge sheet was filed again in the same year. Many of the accused had turned approvers in this case. The trial was delayed in spite of the court directing in 2019 that it be completed within 6 months. Shibi continues to be with us. Shibi, for our viewers, take us through the details of the alleged involvement of the others as well, and what the court has said as far as the other accused in this case is concerned.
Sneha, the court has found direct involvement of the first, second, third, fourth, sixth accused, the 1 to 6 accused. the court has found direct involvement, and it was initially also the prosecution was very sure about them getting convicted in the case because their direct involvement was something that the prosecution could prove right from the beginning. But when it came to actor Dileep was when the prosecution faced a lot of setbacks because there were lack of evidences to prove his involvement in a conspiracy like this. Because their argument is this is a very rare case because we've heard in the past how people are interested to murder somebody or even break the legs and hands of somebody. We've heard those kind of stories, but this is a very rare incident where you're hearing somebody is being entrusted to rape a woman and film those visuals to humiliate her, to blackmail her. So this was a very rare case, is what the prosecution had argued, and that was what the prosecution was depending also on to get a judgment against the actor involved in this case. The first to six, the first accused, Sunil Kumar, he has a history of involving in criminal activities. He's very actively involved in some of the Malayalam movie sets also in various roles. Some of the pictures had emerged from some sets of actor Dileep with this accused in the background. So, and that was the reason. That was one of the first few instances when the investigative team went behind actor Dileep also, feeling that this is a conspiracy. And one of the first people who raised the theory of conspiracy was also actor Dileep's then wife. And the prominent Malayalam film actress Manju Varghese. She was one of the first people who said that there's a conspiracy behind this attack. And her statement was one the prosecution again depended heavily on because she was the one who gave the statement saying that he always felt that she was the one who exposed his extramarital relationship before me. And that was one statement that the police, the SIT heavily depended upon, but that also ultimately could not come into the favor of the investigation team, the prosecution. And Dileep walks free is what we are understanding at this moment. The more details of the case will only come in later on because the judges just pronounced the verdict, and we'll have to know what is the quantum of punishment also for those people who have been found guilty by the court.
As well, on our screens at this point in time is what I can see. Shibi, if you could describe these pictures for us at this point in time. These appear to be live images coming in. In fact, if you could tell us more.
Actor Dileep coming out of the court. In fact, there was a major cheer when inside the court premises itself when he was pronounced. He was acquitted by the court. So a lot of supporters of actor Dileep since morning had come out in huge numbers outside the court premises and also inside the court premises as they expected him to be acquitted by the court. And actor Dileep, he initially left home and then went and met his lawyer before coming to the court. Around 10:30, he reached the court. And he was waiting outside the court, right outside the court when the verdict came out. So this is major relief for the actor because when this incident took place, he was like the one who controlled the Malayalam film industry because he was not just an influential actor but also a very prominent producer who had all the control of the Malayalam film industry. But after that, once the incident took place, once he was arrested by the SIT, his acting career had taken a major setback, had faced a major setback with most of his films failing to perform, with most of his films failing to perform at the box office, and also people choosing to not go to the theatres to watch his movie. So it was a very tough time for the actor in the last 8 years, and he kept saying that he will prove his innocence before the court. So today it's a day for him and his fans to celebrate as he has been acquitted by the court. He has a major film release also in the coming weeks. So this is what we're seeing right outside the court. Actor Dileep leaving the court after the verdict, and his fans and his supporters excited to welcome him as he has proved his innocence as of now before the court. But like I said, this is very, very likely going to go to the higher courts in the coming days itself.
The audio of that clip as well, this to tell our viewers is all live on your screens at this point in time. Fair amount of chaos outside the Ernakulam court right now. Acquitting the actor Dileep in the actress rape and abduction case. It's a man who's going to now walk free. However, as far as the legal road is concerned, it is expected that this matter would be taken up by the survivor in a higher court. Listen in.
ഈ കേസിൽ യഥാർത്ഥ ഗൂഢാലോചന എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്നെ പ്രതിയാക്കാനാണ്. സമൂഹത്തിൽ എൻ്റെ കരിയർ, എൻ്റെ ഇമേജ്, എൻ്റെ ജീവിതം നശിപ്പിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ചെയ്തതാണ്. പക്ഷേ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞോട്ടെ, നിങ്ങൾ 9 വർഷം പറഞ്ഞില്ല കേട്ടോ, ഞാനൊന്ന് ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം ഇന്ന് എനിക്ക് എന്റെ കൂടെ നിന്ന് എല്ലാ കുടുംബാംഗങ്ങളോടും എന്റെ സുഹൃത്തുക്കളും എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി കാണാത്ത കേൾക്കാത്ത ആളുകൾ ഒരുപാട് പേര്, കോടിക്കണക്കിന് ആൾക്കാർ എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി പ്രാർത്ഥിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അവരോടൊക്കെ ഞാൻ എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി അഹോരാത്രം എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി അത് ആത്മാർത്ഥമായിട്ട് ഡിഫെൻഡ് ചെയ്ത എന്റെ പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട ലോയേഴ്സ്,
I want to thank my lawyers who very genuinely, with all the dedication, defended me in the court.
ആത്മാർത്ഥമായിട്ടുള്ള നന്ദി പറയാണ്. അതുപോലെ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ കൂടെയുള്ള സുജേഷ് മേനോൻ, പിന്നെ എന്റെ കോളേജ് മേറ്റ്, എന്റെ സീനിയർ ആയിരുന്ന ഫിലിപ്പ് ടി വർഗീസ്.
I want to thank my friends, my college mates who all stood with me.
നിത്യ തുടങ്ങിയ മറ്റുള്ള ജൂനിയേഴ്സ്, അതുപോലെ സുപ്രീം കോടതിയിലെ മോൾ റോത്തഗി സർ, രഞ്ജിത റോത്തഗി, പ്രഗ്യമം, വംശി തുടങ്ങിയ മറ്റുള്ള ലോയേഴ്സ്, എല്ലാവരോടും ഞാൻ ആത്മാർത്ഥമായിട്ടുള്ള നന്ദി പറയുന്നു. അതുപോലെ എന്നെ സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് ഈ 9 വർഷക്കാലത്തോളം ജീവിപ്പിച്ച, എന്നെ അത്രയും സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്ത ഒരുപാട് ആളുകളുണ്ട്. അവരുടെ പേരെടുത്ത് പറഞ്ഞാൽ തീരില്ല. അവര് വിവിധ മേഖലയിലുള്ള ആളുകളാണ്. അവരോടെല്ലാം എല്ലാവരോടും
If I start taking names, it will take a longer time, but I want to thank all of them. They know who they are.
Actor Dileep saying that this case destroyed my career, but I thank my fans for supporting me. He's been found not guilty by the court in Kerala. The Ernakulam court finding Dileep not guilty in the case pertaining to the rape and abduction, a case that is dated 2017. It's been a long battle, but the Kerala court, the acquitting actor Dileep in the actress rape and abduction case, 6 have been found guilty. Finally, a conclusion to the trial that spanned over a period of 8 years. In his first reaction, Shibi says, "This case destroyed my career." Shibi. His first reaction, he says that this case destroyed my career. Shibi.
Well, exactly. That's what the first response coming from actor Dileep after the verdict that, has acquitted him. He says his career took a setback. His career was destroyed because, like I was pointing out earlier, he was one of the most prominent actors whose films consistently performed well at the box offices. And he's been a childhood hero for a lot of people, a lot of youngsters grown up. And that's why I said, like, when he was found, when he was acquitted, there was cheers inside the courtroom itself. So that was the kind of influence this actor had in the Malayalam film industry. And in the last 8 years, we've rarely seen his films working with, even if the films were critically acclaimed, there was not much crowd coming to the theaters. And that was not the scene 8 years before, because his films were one of the most anticipated films as far as Malayalam film industry is concerned. And that's what he's saying, that my career was destroyed in the last 8 years. And I want to thank everybody, my family, my friends, my lawyers, everybody who stood by me. Since morning, we've been trying to get a reaction from his end, but he's not speaking. He probably waited for the verdict to come out and then speak. So he says thanks to all his audience, all his fans who supported him, who have gathered. In fact, even since morning, when we look around the court premises, we can see a lot of people had come just to see him, just to greet him. So, but this case has one of the biggest, criminal trials that is closely watched by the people of Kerala. In the last 8 years, every update made a headline, it's brought in a lot of changes in the Malayalam film industry also, because it was following this case that a HEMA committee was also constituted to investigate, study the problems faced by women in the Malayalam film industry and find solutions for. So a lot of issues, a lot of things, this whole case has changed in a way in the Malayalam film industry. There have been few regulations that was brought in industry in terms of in terms of safeguarding the safety and security of the female artists and female artists in the industry. So this case has been one of the most sensational, one of the most crucial ones that brought in fact, a lot of changes in the Malayalam film industry also, irrespective of the court's verdict today. So, in that way, the survivor definitely can feel proud because her fight, nobody expected nobody expected her to fight so hard in this case. Many of her colleagues have spoken about the kind of trauma that she underwent when this incident took place in the last 8 years, the kind of trauma that she underwent fighting this case. There were many times people, shamed her, people abused her publicly, and she had filed multiple complaints with Chief Minister and as well as other officials also in courts. Also, she had moved courts also saying that she's being she was being shamed in the public domain for fighting her case. And so her fight is something that will be a lesson for a lot of women. She's given voice to a lot of women because being a very prominent actress, she decided to fight this case. She decided to let the world know what exactly happened to her and also take this case forward, and also brought in a lot of changes in the Malayalam film industry in terms of ensuring safety when the women are traveling as part of work, not just travel, also when they're working in an industry set.
Absolutely, it did. You know, this case, like you were telling us, Shibi, led to the formation of the 3-member Justice Hema committee that you mentioned. This was in July 2017, the same year this incident occurred. This revealed rampant sexual abuse within the Malayalam film industry, and that is what came to light at this point in time. So it was defining in a way a leading Malayalam female actor was physically abused, abducted, sexually abused in Ernakulam. That was the case. The others have now been convicted, but actor Dileep has been acquitted. The courts, in fact, the verdict said that there was little, in fact, room to suggest that Dileep was involved in this. Of course, the prosecution would have failed to produce enough evidence. In that case, Dileep went on to say that this case destroyed my career. His reaction immediately after the verdict. Listen in.
യഥാർത്ഥ ഗൂഢാലോചന എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്നെ പ്രതിയാക്കാനാണ്. സമൂഹത്തിൽ എൻ്റെ കരിയർ, എൻ്റെ ഇമേജ്, എൻ്റെ ജീവിതം നശിപ്പിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ചെയ്തതാണ്. പക്ഷേ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞോട്ടെ, നിങ്ങൾ 9 വർഷം പറഞ്ഞില്ല കേട്ടോ, ഞാനൊന്നും ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം. യഥാർത്ഥ ഗൂഢാലോചന എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്നെ പ്രതിയാക്കാനാണ്. സമൂഹത്തിൽ എൻ്റെ കരിയർ, എൻ്റെ ഇമേജ്, എൻ്റെ ജീവിതം നശിപ്പിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ചെയ്തതാണ്. പക്ഷേ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞോട്ടെ, നിങ്ങൾ 9 വർഷം പറഞ്ഞില്ല കേട്ടോ, ഞാനൊന്നും ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം.
Shibi continues to be with us. Go back to her in a moment from now. Actor Dileep said this case destroyed my career, but my fans stood with me, is what he said. Remember, this is a case from 2017 where a leading Malayalam film actor, a female actor, was abducted and sexually abused in a moving car in Ernakulam by 6 men. In fact, this was also video recorded to blackmail her later. The survivor approached the police the next day. It led to the alleged mastermind at that point in time was thought to be actor Dileep. Today, the court has acquitted him of all the charges. Listen in.
യഥാർത്ഥ ഗൂഢാലോചന എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്നെ പ്രതിയാക്കാനാണ്. സമൂഹത്തിൽ എൻ്റെ കരിയർ, എൻ്റെ ഇമേജ്, എൻ്റെ ജീവിതം നശിപ്പിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ചെയ്തതാണ്. പക്ഷേ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞോട്ടെ, നിങ്ങൾ 9 വർഷം പറഞ്ഞില്ല കേട്ടോ, ഞാനൊന്നും ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം. യഥാർത്ഥ ഗൂഢാലോചന എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്നെ പ്രതിയാക്കാനാണ്. സമൂഹത്തിൽ എൻ്റെ കരിയർ, എൻ്റെ ഇമേജ്, എൻ്റെ ജീവിതം നശിപ്പിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ചെയ്തതാണ്. പക്ഷേ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞോട്ടെ, നിങ്ങൾ 9 വർഷം പറഞ്ഞില്ല കേട്ടോ, ഞാനൊന്നും ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം.
So he goes on to say that this case, in fact, destroyed his career. But the survivor at that point in time in 2017 had approached the police the next day. The case had led to the arrest of actor Dileep at that point in time. Over 8 years of legal battle, allegations of tampering with evidence, claims of bias by the court. The case now seeing some sort of a closure, but with Dileep being acquitted in this case. The others have been found guilty. His associate found guilty. Dileep is the 8th accused, but now has been acquitted by the court. Listen in.
കള്ളക്കഥ തകരുകയാണ് ചെയ്തത്. ഈ കേസിൽ യഥാർത്ഥ ഗൂഢാലോചന എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്നെ പ്രതിയാക്കാനാണ്. സമൂഹത്തിൽ എൻ്റെ കരിയർ, എൻ്റെ ഇമേജ്, എൻ്റെ ജീവിതം നശിപ്പിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ചെയ്ത, എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി കാണാത്ത കേൾക്കാത്ത ആളുകൾ ഒരുപാട് പേര്, കോടിക്കണക്കിന് ആൾക്കാരെ എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി പ്രാർത്ഥിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അവരോടൊക്കെ ഞാൻ ആത്മാർത്ഥമായിട്ടുള്ള നന്ദി പറയുകയാണ്. കള്ളക്കഥ തകരുകയാണ് ചെയ്തത്. ഈ കേസിൽ യഥാർത്ഥ ഗൂഢാലോചന എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്നെ പ്രതിയാക്കാനാണ്. സമൂഹത്തിൽ എൻ്റെ കരിയർ, എൻ്റെ ഇമേജ്, എൻ്റെ ജീവിതം നശിപ്പിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ചെയ്ത, എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി കാണാത്ത കേൾക്കാത്ത ആളുകൾ ഒരുപാട് പേര്, കോടിക്കണക്കിന് ആൾക്കാരെ എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി പ്രാർത്ഥിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അവരോടൊക്കെ ഞാൻ ആത്മാർത്ഥമായിട്ടുള്ള നന്ദി പറയുകയാണ്.
Shibi continues to be with us. Shibi, take us to the details, of the reasons why the other accused in this case, have been convicted, but actor Dileep stands, acquitted here. What is it that has been said by the court today?
Well, Sneha, what we're understanding is all the charges against the first to 6 accused have been proved before the court. They're found guilty for all the charges, including abduction, sexual assault, conspiracy. All those charges have been proved against the first to 6 accused who were directly involved in the crime. They were the ones who carried out this crime. But when it comes to the accused 7 and 8, including actor Dileep, all the evidences did not stand. The prosecution could not prove that, all those charges, could not prove those charges as there weren't enough evidences, is what the court said while delivering the judgment, saying that they could not prove him guilty of the allegations of mastermind behind this conspiracy that took place in 2017. So that's what we're understanding. The quantum of punishment will be delivered on 12th December. That's this week itself, on Friday. The quantum of punishment will be delivered by the Ernakulam Principal Sessions Court. Actor Dileep, he just left the court after the judgment. He said that, this has been a long fight, 1 to 8, almost for 8 years. I was fighting this case. My career was destroyed. My fame, my name, everything was destroyed. I was defamed before the public of Kerala. So today, everything, my innocence has been proved. Whatever the fight that I fought has come out in my favor, is what the actor Dileep said. In fact, a lot of people, most of the people who have gathered around here are fans and well-wishers of the actor, who welcomed him with major cheers when he was leaving the court after the verdict was pronounced by the Ernakulam Principal Sessions Court.
To tell our viewers, this was a defining case because it changed just so many things in the Malayalam film industry, didn't it? Shibi, the formation of the Hema committee that probed deeper into just so many allegations that had been buried for years together of rampant sexual abuse within the Malayalam film industry. So it was defining in that sense, this entire matter, and the Pandora's box that it really opened, didn't it?
Well, exactly, Sneha. In fact, this case, literally proved turning point for a lot of issues in the Malayalam film industry. Because initially, if you look at it, she's one of the leading faces of the Malayalam film industry and South Indian cinema. She's acted in almost all the South Indian languages as heroine of almost all the top actors. So, for her to come forward, reveal her identity, and in fact say what she went through and fight a case for the last 8 years when she was facing setback from every corner of the industry, every corner of the domain, this fight will be remembered for many, many years, because the Hema committee report literally shocked the Malayalam film industry. The findings of the Hema committee report shocked the industry and the conscience of the people in Kerala, showed what exactly happens in this film industry, the kind of struggles the women in the film industry are going through. The Hema committee suggested a lot of measures to solve this issue. All of it happened because one woman out there decided to fight her case, decided to talk to the women around her, tell them to fight. In fact, that has given motivation to a lot of women out there to come forward and express what they have gone through, fight the case, because many a times she was shamed by a lot of prominent figures who were in support of this actor, saying that she's trying to, frame him in this case without any involvement and all of that.
That's right.
And even amid all of that, she stood her ground. She fought this case.
She stood her ground, and like you're telling us, Shibi, this is the matter expected to be taken up further, legally speaking, by the survivor. Akshita Nandgopal is also with us. Akshita, this case changed the Malayalam film industry. Today we're talking about the acquittal of the main accused in this case. But even during the course of the investigations, I remember the Supreme Court had to step in and speak about a speedy trial. There were accusations of bias even at that point in time, isn't it?
That's right, Sneha. This is one of the most high-profile legal cases for the last many years in Kerala that everyone has been tracking, and we've seen so many twists and turns, ultimately culminating in this moment of Dileep being acquitted in the case. If I were to just talk about really the kind of allegations against Dileep in which he's been acquitted, there were allegations of direct physical evidence of him meeting with the main accused, Pulsar Suni, who was accused of rape, of abduction, of conspiracy. So there were direct meeting details that the prosecution had given in this particular case. There were also details given of a money trail in which a director had also spoken out. Despite all of that evidence now, the court has acquitted Dileep. He maintains, of course, there is a conspiracy that's dragged him down for the last many years. This case has gone on for 8 years, Neha. 8 years later now, Dileep has been acquitted. And as far as the survivor is concerned, she's been speaking out rather bravely, braving certain circumstances, not just in the film industry, but otherwise, as Shivi was just pointing out, several attempts at revealing her
Be
identity.
with us. I'll just come back to you for more on that story. Bringing in Brinda Adige also. Thank you for your time, Brinda Adige. I would like to ask you about what has just happened at the court in Ernakulam with them. Acquitting actor Dileep of all the charges. Essentially, he walks out a free man. There are others who've been, convicted today. Your response to what has just happened in court?
Very, very disheartening, because this court has again proved that if you are a powerful person, influential person, you can get away with anything. And rape is something that what this man has got away with. It is first and foremost so difficult for a woman to come out and talk about being raped or being sexually molested. And in the film industry, women are even more vulnerable. But with all of these hurdles and challenges, the women have come forward, and especially that one particular woman, at the cost of her profession, at the cost of her career, at the cost of her, the way people look at her, her family, the community, the social, whatever, and this man has got away. And that is the state that has lost and the state that has been defeated, because it is the state that should have ensured that witnesses are protected. It has a scheme to protect witness, but the state seems to have got itself absolved. The prosecution has absolved itself, the police absolved, and the judiciary also absolved. And this is absolutely so disheartening, so sad, where we were looking for a landmark judgment that the judge says that the main accused, literally the main accused, the most powerful, has got away. And that kind of a message is not simply sad, it is very dangerous. Because in India, we know that the powerful always get away. And this is what the court has said today.
That's right. Shibi, of course, was telling us, our reporter there, that this is a case undoubtedly that's going to linger on further, with the survivor expected to, in fact, take this matter up further with the higher court. But even at that point in time, Brinda Adige, there were several charges of tampering with evidence, claims of bias by the court in that sense as well, isn't it?
You're absolutely right. Several charges of tampering, several charges of not following procedures, several charges of ignoring circumstantial evidence, and that is the job of the state. Why are we absolving the state? So how can a judge sit there and say, yes, you are acquitted, when he has not considered that his own people, the prosecution, the police, have not done their job? And if the judiciary is not going to pull up these people and only sit on all kinds of procedural lapses, what is the judge doing there? Why should we go to court? In a space where, women are vulnerable, in a space where women find it so difficult to talk about sexual abuse, assault and rape, the judge makes a statement which is so patriarchal, sexist and misogynistic.
Absolutely. I'm going to leave it there for the moment. Brinda Adige there with your point of view as far as this case is concerned, different in so many ways, because it led to the formation of the 3-member committee that eventually went on to investigate all the charges that had been leveled by several other people within the Malayalam film industry. Women actors, like Brinda Adige said, many of them were prone to abuse, and the fact that this case, Akshata, gave them a voice, gave them an opportunity to come out and speak about rampant sexual abuse within the Malayalam film industry. Akshata.
Very true, Sneha. This triggered a movement in the Kerala film industry, and anyone who's tracked what's happened in the industry would have said it was much needed, that this was the kind of movement that was needed. But you're back to square one. essentially, because you've got this victim, the survivor, who spoke out, and more strength to her, more power to her. It took great amount of challenges, threats to her own life, threats to her family, and threats to her career for her to have spoken out in the manner that she did in the last many years. For her, she would feel it's a sense of going back to square one, because let's be very clear here. The person who is the most influential of the list of accused in this particular case was actor Dileep. He's faced so many serious charges beyond just the case itself. In the follow-up in the investigation, as you pointed out, of tampering, of attempting to influence witnesses, that you can only imagine how hard it was for the survivor to have taken the stand, stuck her ground, and decided that she's going to continue this legal fight. In her case, she's going to feel that, it's back to square one. She's going to have to start this battle all over again. And let me also highlight here, Sneha, that in the fallout of this particular case, while you had a handful of actors who stood by her, who supported her, who backed her in this fight, largely, overwhelmingly, the film industry in Kerala chose to keep either quiet or chose to side with Dileep in such a serious case. And that speaks volumes, really, of what it took for the survivor to actually speak out, the kind of circumstances, the kind of boycott, the kind of targeting that she faced for what she chose to do. And despite that, she stood her ground and spoke out. Now, all the more she will need that support. Now, all the more she's going to need that backing, because she is going to have to fight this out. Now, there will be questions asked, Neha, about, what kind of a case was actually built against Dileep. There were serious allegations here, also of the mountain of evidence, but did the prosecution fail to actually compile all of it? Did they fail to put forward a strong case? All of that also will be up for debate now. But for the survivor, this is going to be a tough fight going forward. 8 years. It's been a long fight for her, and now going forward, it's going to be, even harder, because the kind of support that she received, very little previously, and I suspect that's never going to change, because the Kerala film industry is so skewed, honestly, in favor of the male actors, in favor of male superstars like Dileep, that it's going to be really hard for her.
Absolutely. In fact, she put up a big fight, against all odds, really also giving a voice to just so many other women who then went ahead and spoke about and opened up about the kind of abuse that they're facing. Shibi continues to be with us. Shibi, a sense from what really is the road ahead as far as the survivor is concerned here. What more details can you share with us as far as the survivor's legal road ahead is concerned?
Sneha, let's be honest, even before the verdict came itself, there were, a legal opinion that Dileep might be acquitted, because, like I pointed out, in the last 8 years, there were some strong evidences which were allegedly tampered. There were some witnesses, around 5 witnesses, who turned hostile during the hearing of the case. So, in that circumstances, it was a Herculean task as far as the prosecution was concerned to prove Dileep's role in this case also. So that time itself, it was already decided by the survivor, from what we know, that this will have to go to the higher courts. So we are understanding that she will take this case and this fight more ahead and approach the higher courts, is what we're understanding. We have some reactions already coming in from all those women actors who supported her, who stood by her, like Rima Kallingal, who said that he has already posted a photo saying that I stand by her, I stand with her, more stronger than ever, I'm going to stand with her, is the post shared by actress Rima Kallingal. In fact, right after this incident took place, AMMA, the Association of Malayalam Movie Artists, had expelled actor Dileep, but Dileep was one of the prominent faces of this organization that literally controls Malayalam film industry. It's the most prominent organization in the industry, and many of these female actors in the industry left that organization as they felt that the association was trying to protect actor Dileep. They formed another organization called Women in Collective Cinema. They went to meet Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, submitted a petition asking him to form a committee to study the issues faced by women in the Malayalam film industry. They have all faced career setbacks in the last 8 years. Most of them have lost out on multiple movie opportunities and all of that. But still, a lot of them decided to stand by her, and that's what we're seeing after the verdict also, saying that we're going to stand by her how much of a time this fight is going to go. And also, in the last 8 years, the survivor herself had come out and said the kind of trauma that she went through in the last 8 years. Most of the times, her friends and colleagues in the industry were heard saying that she had suicidal thoughts. Multiple times she was shamed in the public domain. Overcoming all of that, she fought this case in the last 8 years. Recently, recently we heard the survivor saying that if anybody asks her how did you manage to survive in the last 8 years, I might not have an answer to it, because I don't know how did I go through all of this in the last 8 years, but I'm glad I fought in the last 8 years, and I understand that this fight is going to take a lot more time. In fact, she had requested initially for a female judge to proceed the case, so that was appointed. Later she had approached the High Court, as the two prosecution lawyers had to quit the case, saying that the judge was not working in favor, allegedly not working in favor of the prosecution, but in favor of the accused here, that is actor Dileep. So citing all of that, two prosecution lawyers had quit this case midway. So a lot of challenges were there in between, and she was the one who was in the middle of all of this, all of this twists and turns, all of this controversy that was going on, but she decided to fight the case, and very surely this is going to be a long time ahead for her also, because just to hear the verdict, it has taken 8 years at the lower court, at the principal sessions court. So it might be a long journey ahead for her, but from what we have seen in the last 8 years, she's going to fight it out, is what we know.
All right, undoubtedly she might just be fighting it out, given the kind of fight that she'd put up for years together. Actor Dileep, in fact, while speaking just after his acquittal, went on to say that his career has been affected. My career was finished in that sense. That's what he said. But the kind of struggles that the survivor has had to go through, and after which is just so many survivors within the Malayalam film industry came out and spoke, is what really needs to be spotlighted at this point in time. Shibi, it's never easy to speak about and to stand up against, like Akshita was saying, against these male actors who are extremely dominant within the Kerala film industry. And obviously we've seen in the past, it's always that they are the ones to find more favor, no matter what the narrative, isn't it?
Oh, well, exactly. In fact, Dileep, when the incident took place, when the case was registered against him, he was like the undisputed ruler in the Malayalam film industry. We say Mammootty and Mohanlal are the superstars in Malayalam film industry, but Dileep was the one who reportedly controlled this industry as a whole, because he was a very prominent film producer. He has produced films on behalf of the organization AMMA also, Association of Malayalam Movie Actors. So he was very influential. He could make and break the careers of a lot of actors and actresses. This survivor in the case have done multiple films with him. In fact, if you look at the numbers, she might have acted the most with him. And when this incident took place, he was one of the first people who came out in solidarity with her, expressing his support. And that time, nobody had any clue that he might be involved in this case, or there will be charges that will be filed against him later. But it was certain, phone calls and certain letters that were sent out by the first accused, Sunil Kumar, from the jail to Dileep and some of his close associates, that raised the suspicion before the investigative team. He was arrested. 85 days he spent in jail. He was investigated thoroughly, but later the court granted him bail in October 2017 with multiple conditions. And since then he has been very active in the industry, but his career did take a setback. But, at that point, deciding to fight a case against somebody like him who's very influential with all the money and all the influence was not a very, very easy task. Not just that, she fought the case. She even came back to the film industry. She started doing films. It took her some time. She took her own time, but she's out there in the public, there performing in films, doing films, also building a career, while this huge case is there for her to fight also. So kudos to her and a fight that actually gave voice to multiple women out there, because when the Hema committee report came out also, many of the victims were ready to come forward and file complaints, raise their voice against the other actors in the industry, was also because of the strength that they got from
Absolutely. The fact that she came out and spoke against a powerful actor like Dileep and put the spotlight and highlighted the trauma that she had to undergo. Dileep, in fact, after the verdict of the court in which he was acquitted, came out and said that he thanks his fans and that his career had suffered for years together. That really was his response. Let's take a listen.
ഈ കേസിൽ യഥാർത്ഥ ഗൂഢാലോചന എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്നെ പ്രതിയാക്കാനാണ്. സമൂഹത്തിൽ എൻ്റെ കരിയർ, എൻ്റെ ഇമേജ്, എൻ്റെ ജീവിതം നശിപ്പിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ചെയ്ത, എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി കാണാത്ത കേൾക്കാത്ത ആളുകൾ ഒരുപാട് പേര്, കോടിക്കണക്കിന് ആൾക്കാർ എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി പ്രാർത്ഥിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അവരോടൊക്കെ ഞാൻ ആത്മാർത്ഥമായിട്ടുള്ള നന്ദി പറയുകയാണ്.